Hello, everybody. This is Bill Walker, the Gambling Astrologer. Pardon me for a minute. I'm trying to figure out this new Zoom setup. They always have to mess with shit, don't they? Uh, anyway, I wanted to talk. Hopefully, this will all work out. I want to talk about Bitcoin and the astrology of Bitcoin. I'm going to try to make this brief. Um, I should be sharing my screen. So, first, we're going to look at the natal chart of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin was founded, it was founded under a Uranus-Saturn opposition. Um, Uranus is definitely a key planet that rules Bitcoin. It is the planet of innovation. It rules computers, inventiveness, the breakout from the old structures. Ironically, both Saturn and Uranus rule the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius does deal with what makes each of us unique, um, the unique intelligence or logos, so to speak, that our soul vibrates to. And what is once potentially insightful or breaks out of the doldrums of sort of conventional society, which would be Uranian, a person then has the responsibility to ground and build structure around that, which would be Saturn. So it's often possible for something new, Uranian, to then become the structure Saturn. And it's possible that Bitcoin becomes um, new money. And what I want to point out that is interesting is that let me pull up the document here. In 11 of the 15 major high lows that I have here, starting on June 8th, 2011, um, all the way to October 10th, 2025, 11 of the 15 were within a month of the Uranus station. Now, there's two Uranus stations per year. Um, they're roughly 210 days and 155 days. 155-day retrograde period, 210-day period of going forward. When Uranus goes forward, it moves 8 zodiacal degrees. When it goes retrograde, it goes back 4 degrees. Now, being 20, 24 days from a station might seem like kind of a long time, maybe a high percentage of especially a 155-day cycle. But at the very beginning, when you're in a stations and either starts to go retrograde or starts to move forward, it's moving very slow in appearance. And so zodiacally, in all of these cases, Uranus has moved less than one half of a degree, less than one half of the eighth of the 8 degrees. So that would be less than 1/16th of the total movement. And in the retrograde period, 4 degrees. So less than half a degree would still be less than 1/8 of the total movement. So it would still be close to the station. Uranus stations are correlated with major movements of Bitcoin. So I've established that in my research, and that's what's important. Um, I want to point out that I think if you watch my recent video, you know that I'm bullish about Bitcoin right now. Now, there was a Uranus station just prior in September of 2025, and we're currently retrograde. It was within a half a degree of the October 10th high. I'm not sure if we're going to make a brand new high. Right now, we have a couple of things that are. I want to point this out. There's supposed to be a announcement this next week whether they're going to reduce the rates again, and if they do, and I believe that they will, Bitcoin and the market are going to continue to surge. This particular chart is for the Bitcoin minor progressions on December 14th, which is next Sunday. It's interesting. Bitcoin seems to do a lot of movement during the weekend after the futures contracts. pause and they're no longer trading. Some people are getting out of their positions and don't want to hold it over the weekend. So if things are manipulated, they're often manipulated there. But we'll note here in the natal chart of Bitcoin, Bitcoin has the sun at 13 degrees and 30 minutes of Capricorn. Um, Also notice that Uranus is 19 degrees of Pisces. Well, we'll look at these progressions for December 14th, and we'll notice that the moon will be conjunct Jupiter in Bitcoin's minor progress chart um, on natal Uranus. And note that Venus will be, and I'll animate it one day. It'll hit, so that will be the day, late Sunday, early Monday, where progressed Venus in this case will be exact to the minute trine natal sun at 13 degrees and 30 minutes of Capricorn. Here it's 13 degrees and 28 minutes of Taurus. Is going to hit 1330 that Sunday evening, Monday morning. So the combination of Venus trine Sun in the progression and the Moon Jupiter conjunction is very, very bullish for Bitcoin. And I expect a massive Christmas rally. I'm looking at 103 to 105K. I do want to point out, I mentioned that Uranus ruled is one of the rulers of Bitcoin. And I find it interesting that a lot of the major highs and lows have been um, numerically related to Uranus. Uranus is an 84-year cycle. If we go back when the first major high hit just over 20,000, it hit about 21,000. 21 years is a quarter of Uranus, 21. One of the next major highs was roughly 63,000. 63 would be three quarters of Uranus. We had major consolidation at the 84, which is, and most recently, um, it went down to roughly 84, a little bit below 84. And the all-time high for Bitcoin right now is 126. Well, 126 is one and a half times Uranus. It is exactly 84 plus 42. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I think the energies of price and time are related, and it being a Uranian, this being a Uranian application, price seems to fall on these key levels. But what I want to show you is what I think will be really the next crash, if this wasn't already the start in October, what will certainly accelerate the crash, and I believe will be crashing between February and June of 2026. I want to show you a couple of things. Number one, let's see here. This is the transit chart for February 3rd, 2026. And I want to note that the Uranus station is exact on that day. Now, some of the highs and lows have fallen exact on Uranus stations. Some of them have fallen within a month. A month is one of the longest. Of those 11 out of 15, a month is the longest. Second longest was 24 days before or after a Uranus station. Most of them fell within a few days of the Uranus station. So that's important. Number two, I want to note the natal Saturn of Bitcoin. Natal Saturn of Bitcoin is 21 degrees and 45 minutes of Virgo. Now I want to note the progression. We looked at the progression for December 14th when we had Venus trine the Sun, Moon and Jupiter conjunct. Let's take a look at it for beginning of February. In fact, this is February 2nd, the day before the Uranus station. Now, recall, natal Saturn is 21 degrees and 40, was it 49 minutes? 45 minutes. 45 minutes, 21:45 of Virgo. I want you to look at Mars here. Mars is, and I'm going to animate this chart. If we go back a day, we're going to hit 20. So on February 1st, we'll note here Mars 6 degrees and 45 minutes of Leo in the progression. Now, watch how slow this progression moves. This is all through January here. It moves very, very slowly. January 20th here, 29th, 30th. Uh, and then here we got February 1st. It hits 6 degrees and 45 minutes. This is exact to the minute, and that's important. Semi square natal Saturn. But what's also very interesting is note the moon here the very next day with Mars at 6:46, 1 degree, 1 minute from exact semi square natal Saturn. The moon in the progression will be square Mars. So you'll have moon square Mars making aspect to natal Saturn exact. The combination of that and the Uranus station, I really think we see a major, major drop. And this accelerates. And one of the reasons I say this is because Saturn also is going to be hitting the natal moon of Uranus. You're going to have the Saturn Neptune conjunction in early Aries. There's going to be some manipulation. There's going to be some shifts in the economy that are going to be very, very big. Um, I don't know what they're going to be doing exactly. I'm a bit nervous about it. That is when the Saturn Neptune station goes exact in February. And then we're going to have Saturn and Neptune both hitting Bitcoin's moon. But I believe that by July 20th, I'm going to pull up July 20th. Um, this is the transit chart. You're going to note that you have Jupiter at 4 degrees of Leo. This is trine Bitcoin's moon at 4 degrees of Aries. You're going to have Neptune or Pluto at 4 degrees of Aquarius opposite Jupiter. You're going to have Uranus at 4 degrees of Gemini here. So this 4 degrees, 4 degrees, 4 degrees of these major outer planets. And of course, Neptune here by itself, no longer with Saturn, is going to be at 4 degrees of Aries on the natal moon. So all these outer planets, 4 degrees Pluto, 4 degrees Neptune, 4 degrees Uranus, 4 degrees Jupiter, all in a trine, sextile, free flowing aspects, and they're outer planets. So they deal with, um, stimulation of the innovation, the new, Pluto, transformation of the old, making way for the new. I do believe that this is going to be when cryptos really, really become solidified as a major part of our economy. And it's good. It'd be a good idea as it's crashing through 2026, and I do believe it will, to be accumulating. In fact, I think that would be some of the reason why it's going to be crashing is so that the big wigs can manipulate and get in at a lower price. We may see 50,000 in Bitcoin, $1 XRP, but it's going to be, I think 2026 is going to be rough. Anyway, that's going to conclude this particular video. I'm going to close these, save this, and let me pull this up. Sorry, I'm still, again, I said, still getting used to the Zoom. All right, well, we're going to end this, and I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe my videos. Respond with any questions here in YouTube or at OregonAstrologer@gmail.com. I look forward to it. Thank you.